Hey fam, welcome or welcome back. Tisha here, back for another recap of Seeking Sister Wife season 6. This is episode 3. Freaky stuff is going on here. You guys, it does not make any sense to me how much I am enjoying this series. So, thank you for suggesting it because I never had any desire to review this before. But these people are crazy. But let's go ahead and get into it. Do me a favor, hit that like button, hype me up, and leave a comment in the comment section just so I know that you were here. So, why don't we go ahead and start with Pimp Daddy himself, Nick. So it's date night for Nick and Teresa. You guys, the way the way that he was getting dressed at first, right? With his silk black shirt and his tie and his three-piece suit because he had the vest and everything with it, and the shininess of the silver to the suit, and the pimped out hat that he had with the blue feather. I thought he was getting ready for church. Okay. But we quickly learned that it was date night. You cannot tell that man that he does not look good. And he later confirms it because he tells us that he's pretty full of himself and that he has a high opinion of himself. I see it. I feel like if we all thought the way that Nick thinks of ourselves, that the world would be a better place, that esteem wouldn't be a thing because he's really, really into himself. Like he really, really feels like he's a catch. Even though for me, I think that the wives, the women in this situation are the real catch. So the wives have encouraged him to go out on this date with Teresa because they haven't really had a lot of romantic one-on-one time together. So as he's walking up to the restaurant to meet his lady, he's strolling in. I mean, they got the music playing and you can't tell him that he isn't as fine as he thinks he is. So he happily greets his girlfriend with a kiss. And when he goes to kiss her, I never really paid attention to how short he is in comparison to her. Like I knew there was a height difference, but her with heels did not make it any better because this man at various points when they're standing up to kiss is on his tippy toes to kiss her. I get that she has on heels. I'm not trying to say that shorter men can't date taller women. My best friend's girlfriend is significantly taller than him. It's just the way that the two of them look. It really, really caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it, and then it didn't help with her swinging him around at the end of the day like he was a little kid. Like I was like, what is going on here? Anyways, so Teresa says that she loves being on dates with Nick because whenever she goes out with him, she discovers, more not just about him, but about herself too. It's the way that he looks into her eyes, and for her, that's all that matters. She lets him know that she was willing to risk it all for him, even back then, that she always had feelings for him. She never wanted to cross any boundaries, though, nor did he. But I don't think he ever looked at her romantically by the way that he's speaking, but she was head over heels for him. Neither one of them were inappropriate with each other. Now, Nick gives this whole spiel about how he views himself and how he feels like, because of how highly he thinks of himself, that if Teresa was giving him any type of clues that she liked him, he would have dismissed it. But now Teresa has made it known. So Teresa is relieved because she has her man. She says after Danielle left, after 14 years of knowing him, she knew that it was her time. Nick, her words, put a bell in her soul in a past life, and to find him, she just had to ring it. She had to be confident enough to ring it, and wise enough to ring it, and courageous enough to ring it. I said, okay, we're giving a speech. The speech of all speeches. So at this point, Nick is smiling so hard that you cannot even see his eyes. All you see is teeth. Because if Nick doesn't love anything else, he loves to know that he's the man. And Teresa, very much so, at times allows him to feel that way. So she lets him know that at this point, she would be devastated if it didn't work out. And I said, oh, girl. I think that it's problematic that she not only moved in, but she moved her son in as well. I don't like that she did that, especially because y'all are just dating and you're putting him into this situation when it sounds to me like the guy that you're with isn't even sure if he permanently wants you. Y'all tell me what you think. So she's laying it on thick and he's eating it up, right? The only thing that, because he's like, what else do I need to do for you? And she's like, there's only one more thing that I need of you, and that's, more cuddle time. And he's like, okay, we could do that. We could do that. At this point, Nick lets us know he's just taking notes. He's collecting data to determine whether she's going to be a permanent fixture in the family. They then get up to leave. And I'm wondering what type of date this was because I saw two glasses on the table that were empty. Like, did you guys have water? Did you just grab like a beverage? Like, what's going on? You didn't grab any food. You didn't have any dessert. Like, I don't know. It didn't really seem that great to me, but whatever. So they're outside now, and she's like, "Come here." And she goes to give him a kiss, and he's on his tippy toes again. She then picks him up and spins him around as she laughs. And I'm just like, this is so weird. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm just picturing him because she got on this bright pink, right? And he has on the silver, and you just see the little shiny being twirled around in a circle. Okay. 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 So later that night, the adults are hanging out in the living room together. Nick joins them with glasses of wine as well as, I'm guessing, what is water for Jennifer because we know she's pregnant. We find out that Nick normally facilitates these type of nights. If they don't drink some wine, they play some music. It's just a time for the adults to spend with each other. I got a question for those of you who noticed. Is April wearing a faja or something? Because even when the girls were sitting there in their pajamas, her titties are like right up under her chin. And I'm asking for the big titty girls out there because I myself am a big titty girl. And baby, the way those things are like right under, they're always right under her chin. And I want to know what her regimen is because it's like in confessional under her chin. in pajamas under her chin, walking under her chin, like nice shave and everything, but gracious, they're all, April, let me know what you got on, girl. Just tell me, let me know, because baby, I need it. All right, so apparently Teresa told Jennifer that she would like to go on a date with someone new, that she wants to add another person to the circle. And the look on Nick's face when she says this, Nick is looking around like he's in shock because he at this point is not even sure if he's going to choose you, Teresa. He's like, look, you just got here. Are you sure you're ready to add another person? It sounds like a joke, but the expression on his face is telling me that for him, that kind of bothered him a little bit. Y'all let me know what you think because Teresa is not even a wife. And here she is trying to change up the rules. Like, lady, you're not allowed to do that. They don't even know what they want to do with you yet. In Teresa's eyes, she pictured joining the family and marrying Danielle. Teresa, I don't believe you, girl, because you talked about being excited that Danielle left. and feeling like it's your chance. And then now in this moment, you're saying you thought that you would marry Danielle. So according to her, she thought she would marry Danielle, and they basically do not want Danielle back. She says that to show her commitment to Nick, she was hoping that she too could marry someone else. I would think that if you wanted to show your commitment to Nick, that you would marry Nick. But Nick, in my opinion, doesn't want to have a legal marriage with any of them because it makes it easier for him. He keeps on trying to pitch things like he's making it easier for the women, but he, I think, is making it easier for himself. So she says that she's in this for a lifetime, but she wants to marry someone else and change her name to Davis so that she can be more solidified in her position. Let me tell you something. Teresa, if you really want to change your name to Davis, go down to the courts and do it. You don't have to be married. You can change your name to whatever you want to. So do it. But whether you change your name or not, Christine Brown, it doesn't determine what your standing is going to be in that family. It's just you changing your name. My thoughts. You guys tell me yours. So the other ladies pick this time to go to bed. They say they're tired and they're going to bed because they got to go to work in the morning. Nick has to wake up to take care of the kids, but they have to wake up to go to work. So they go to bed, and Teresa and Nick go to the hot tub that he says they get a lot of use of. So he's just adjusting as they're in the hot tub, he says, to them no longer being friends. And right after he says that, he asks her if she's ready to take a trip to that bland looking boom boom room. Now he doesn't call it bland, but we know it's bland. If you are struggling with loving her in a romantic way, his words, then why are you suggesting that you go to the boom boom room? Oh, because as he said, he doesn't have a problem with that. It's the romantic stuff. He needs to think. I think that Nick is a piece of crap. I can't see myself liking him, y'all. I just can't. Not yet, at least. He has yet to grow on me. We'll see what happens though. Tell me what you think. Next on the docket, let's do Garrick, Danielle, and Lorena. So we are still at Danielle's simple birthday celebration. Danielle feels like her sister wife, Lorena, being there is a perfect gift. She's using her phone to let her know things. So they're both talking in apps on the phone, right? So Lorena says that she cried so much knowing that she was leaving Rio, that she cried before she left and she cried on the plane because she was a little apprehensive. But everyone has welcomed her with a lot of love. I completely understand why she could be apprehensive for various reasons, not just because there's a language barrier, not just because she's coming from another country, but because this is a completely different world for her in more ways than one. Like culturally, they are different. There's notable differences, right? There's also an age difference. So there's a lot of things to consider. She is this single person who's coming into a home with not just this husband and wife, but with their kids and the grandparents. There's a lot. So Samantha is making fun of the fact that Danielle and Garrett cry all the time too. And Lorena doesn't mind it. At this point, she says she's just happy and grateful that they have a large family. So that's them inside. Outside, the men are talking. And Danielle's father, Scott, her brother, Sam, and her husband, Garrett, those are the men who are out there talking. For Sam, he feels like sex isn't the issue. As far as Sam's concerned, he could handle having sex with like 6 women. But the emotions are where there's issues because he talks about how hard it is just to handle one wife. So at this point, Garrick isn't thinking about all of that. He's just happy to have someone who loves the whole family. I will say, based on what I'm seeing, that Lorena does very much so want to be involved. It doesn't seem like she's putting on yet, but it's still early days. Y'all tell me what you think. So at this point, Sam's major concern is that Lorraine may take their money if it doesn't work out. He says it's not just about Garrick and Danielle and my nephews and my nieces. It's not just about their family because we know that they aren't legally married, but it's also about his parents that live with them, as well as Sam and his wife and their kids. Everybody in this situation needs to be protected. That is completely understandable. Now, Garrett claims to have reached out to, I keep calling him Garrick has claimed to reached out to an attorney to look into a prenup. And he says that he's left messages with this attorney 5 different times and he has not gotten a call back. Is this the only attorney in Colorado? Why not try an attorney elsewhere? Because it's obvious that for whatever reason, this one does not want to deal with you. So, him and Danielle's solution to this is that they found a website where they have attorneys that have created generic templates to draw up a basic prenup. Are you dumb? Pay the money to make sure that you have a professional prenup done so that it cannot later be said that you got this prenup and it's not illegal in this court or it doesn't stand. Or like, don't take any chances when it comes to that, especially because your brother-in-law has made it clear to you that this is the one thing that he really, really needs from you in terms of all of this. So at this point, Sam is frustrated because he is putting all of them at risk. He's telling Sam, I'm going to need your help with this. No, you're going to need to find an attorney and actually get it done, especially because you said you haven't seen her in 8 months. So this is 8 months. You've had 8 months of opportunity to make sure, since the time you proposed 8 months ago, to make sure that you get that young lady ready for this prenup. It kind of makes me wonder if he wants to do a prenup in the first place. So the guys head back inside, and Danielle is about to blow out her candles. She's holding her husband's hand. They sing some version of Happy Birthday I've never heard. She is remembering as she looks at her cake that 2 years ago on her birthday, they were with Natalia. And that is the day on her birthday that Garrick decided to propose. I said, wait, what? I wish you would propose to another woman on my birthday, polygamous or not. That is extremely inconsiderate, Garrick. And Danielle, why did you go along with it? But back to current days, she is still nervous about what the future may hold because they've lost so many wives and they're kind of like a little, they're stressed from the previous situation. They're not sure how this is going to turn out, which I can understand. So she gets choked up talking about how blessed she is and how thankful she is for her family and for her sister. And she holds Lorraine's hand, and Lorraine smiles at her. As she's holding her hand, she blows out the candles, and it's just a beautiful moment for them. So it's the next morning. Even though it was her first night there, Lorena insisted that Danielle sleep with her husband. So, well, it's not really her husband, with her man. We'll call her husband. I don't want to be disrespectful. So she asked them with a smile on her face, did you guys enjoy the rest of your night? And he tells her, Garrick tells Lorena in her language, very much a dream, meaning they had a great time. It was a dream. I said, let me find out, Garrick. So here's where I'm a little confused. Danielle knew that Lorena was moving in. Danielle knew that they had a room that they designated for the sister room that had a walk-in closet that she could have put her things in. There were already some things in there. Yet Danielle waited until Lorena was there to move her stuff out of Garrick's room into the sister wife room. Now, that could have been because she was not sure if she was going to come or not, but I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. So at this point, both Lorena and Danielle are kind of unpacking in their room as well as doing some stuff in his room. They both say that it's strange for them. Danielle tells Lorena that they need to work out a schedule for changing the sheets. Lorena laughs at this and says, yes, she agrees. So they're in what I'm thinking is his master closet. And the way it is laid out makes absolutely no sense because she's taking out things. And as she's taking out things, there's all these different sections that are built into this closet. And you're telling her she can hang some of her stuff in this little section here, and then this other section here, you can take half of it and she can take the other half of it. No, 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 no. And then he has this section. Each one of y'all should have a section, with him having the largest section because it's his closet. Each of you get a smaller component. But to give her a section that you got your purses on top of over here, it's yeah, the organization is not there. They need me. They need me. I was hollering when I saw that closet. Like I'm actually surprised it wasn't bigger than what we saw. To be fair, that was my first thing. And my second thing, like let's make it more cohesive. Let's make it color coordinated, y'all. I'm very much so a Roy G. Biv type of person. Like when I hang up my clothes, they're color coordinated. One section of closet has like my work clothes and my cardigans and stuff like that. My blazers. Another section has like jeans and dress pants and stuff like that. And then it's color coordinated, and sneakers are all in one closet, and have stackables other spaces in the room. And then I also have like dress shoes and another. Yeah, I'm very, very organized. So I was looking at the closet and I was screaming in my head. Anyways, just give the girl one section because I'm rambling at this point. Lorena sees that Danielle is having a difficult time. And she tells her, it's different. Everything is different. She tells us she thanks God. She thinks that God prepared her because she actually wants to live there with them. So what she's doing is she's adapting little by little, and she's making sure that she's learning. We see Danielle have a bit of a breakdown, and she tells Lorena that she's emotional because she doesn't know what she's supposed to bring and what she's supposed to leave. As they're saying this, there's like a pan of a whole bunch of stuff that is folded up on his bed. She never really moved anything significant into the other room. So Lorena is very understanding to the point where she is hugging Danielle, and she tells her she gets it, especially because this is how things have always been, that she's accustomed to having all of that as her. She's like, don't worry about it. Just take the essential things now. I'm liking the way that Lorena is handling this situation. And I hope that it stays this way. But I think that out of the two of them, that Danielle is going to struggle more because, as she said, she had him for 17 years by herself. So it's making me wonder, did the other wives never move in before? Because she says she's always shared a room with him. Y'all let me know down below. All right, let's get to the next couple that we're going to talk about. Let me find them on the slide. Okay. We didn't see Angelica at all this episode. So, in my opinion, because we're talking about Shanae, Matthew, and Angelica, I do not think that Shanae is being realistic about her expectations. You all have kids, little kids at that. They come first, the other stuff comes later. I don't think that she will ever get what she wants because that man's priority is his children and his wife. So Matthew has gotten them a hotel room. He's trying to have some adult time while she just wants to talk. He says he tries to see her a few times a week, but it's hard. He talks about how he wants to be spontaneous and all these things, but they have jobs and they have kids, and he has a wife. I want to know how many times a week they see each other, because they're making comments, but it's not giving me enough to really get where this situation is. So they're in this hotel room and he's trying to get busy because, as Shanae points out, that's normally what they do when they have alone time. But this time, he's not going to get any cookie because she wants to talk. He says very clearly, "What do you need from me?" She says, "I need more. It feels like I'm pulling your attention from your family. I love them, but I need more. And I want more, and I deserve more. You do deserve more. But you are in a situation with a married man who has little kids, who seems to be a very present father, and you chose to be in this situation for 3 years at that. So what's so different now than before? Because were the kids there before? Like, I don't know how old the kids are. Y'all tell me if you know how old the kids are. But I'm trying to figure out what's so different. So she claims that they've talked about marriage and those things, and she can see herself spending the rest of her life with this man, but she feels like an afterthought. He tells her that they both have kids and it's tough not to prioritize them because you shouldn't. You should always put your kids before that woman. I'm sorry. It's okay if you disagree with me, but I feel like his kids should come first. So he wants her to consider moving closer, especially because the side of town that they stay on is significantly cheaper. She wants them to move closer. She claims she would be willing to move, but it would take a serious level of commitment and big change. I don't get what we're talking about here. Because how can Matthew do the big changes when they live an hour apart? I don't understand exactly what she expects him to do when there's an hour between them, because that means that when he comes to see you, he spends an hour getting there and an hour going back. So that's 2 hours just to come and see you without even spending any time with you. So the plan is for her to swing by the house tomorrow because she wants to talk about some more things, but she feels like Angelica should be included. And for the remainder of their night together, he can massage her. Now he wants more, but she's like, "You're not spending the night, so you're not getting more." End of them. Let's get to our final couple of the night. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me find them up here on the slide. Goodness gracious. Danny and Yessel. I'm going to say it again. Polygamy for them is not going to work. He wants to hurry up and find a woman. She wants to take things slow. He wants the woman to have an option to conceive. She doesn't want that because she is nervous about carrying any more children. Danny, sis, this isn't what you want. Why are you agreeing to get a sister wife for a man that is in and out of town all the time, to the point where you've already said he's gone for 3 or 4 months? You don't need a sister wife. You need a nanny or some more friends. You are giving this man permission to lay up with someone just so you are not lonely. If you don't want a nanny, get a roommate. Like right now. Back to the story. So Danny spoke with Yessel's ex, Leah. I don't really think that he likes that they're so close. He doesn't seem so thrilled when their name comes up. Maybe it's because he's afraid that she'll talk some sense into Danny. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think down below. So, at her suggestion, Danny is going to speak to her husband about boundaries because he messed up the first time and he has already gotten off to a bad start yet again, because they previously tried to get a sister wife. He was meeting up with the lady, hanging out with the lady, making decisions on his own. They would say things like, "We're going fishing," and it ended up to going fishing and then going out to dinner and then going to her parents' house and then not coming home until 3 o'clock in the morning. Yesel, you're disrespectful. Whether you were with a woman or you were with your friends, that is your wife. You should have let her know you were going to be out late. Like, this is just common courtesy stuff. So she felt put on the back burner. I can understand why. He admits he didn't think about how she would feel. Oh, we didn't know that. You're not thinking about how she would feel now, because I'm not even married to the woman, and I can tell you she doesn't really want a sister wife. She really doesn't want to share you. Whenever anybody talks about you having relations with someone else, she has a reaction on her face that she cannot hide. She isn't ready for it. So he says there was a big lack of communication. And in my opinion, there still is, because he started off wrong again when seeking to find another wife by creating a website without speaking with her. So from here on out, if either one of them want to hang out with this woman, they are to tell each other. And we're talking about their future woman. Danny wants to go at her own pace. He wants someone who has their life together, someone who's okay with kids. Danny says she doesn't care if they have kids or not. If they do, no problem. They can share taking care of the kids. Great. She just wants to make sure that they don't have any kids from her husband. For her, that is a non-negotiable. I said, okay, so then you want someone who doesn't want any kids, because that would be problematic, especially if you're saying that you want this to be a life partner. She says she knows that she can't risk having any more children. And she also can't risk him getting another woman pregnant and them getting what she wanted always, which was a girl. He says he's with her. This is going to, however, make it more difficult for them to find someone. He's ready to start dating like tomorrow. And Danny isn't trying to do that because she wants to take her time, because she wants to find a permanent thing, not just someone. I think that for him, he want to try out everybody. I just feel like he's looking for an excuse to sleep with people. Y'all tell me what you think. That's what it's giving to me. Anyways, it's a new day. They are inviting Yessel's brother, Joel, over. Is it Joel? I want to call him Joel, but I think it's Joel. Joel over to tell him their plans. They are very close. They are Dominican and they were raised Catholic. So he doesn't know what his brother's response is going to be. So he tells him, like, look, we've been searching for someone because we want to have a polygamous relationship. And his brother is looking around like, what? He's confused. He's smiling because he's telling us he thinks it's a joke, but then he's realizing he's serious. So he's looking like, what the hell? Like, that's how he's looking. He thought it was a joke. He did not think that they would be the type of people that would add someone to their marriage. He wants to know whose idea it was. And they look at each other and say it was mutual. I'm not buying it was mutual. Y'all tell me if you think it was mutual. I don't think it was mutual. I think that it was Yesel who wanted it, and Danny just went along with it. So Joel says, what type of freaky stuff is going on over here? This is weird. This will make things awkward. You are going to be stretched too thin. Are you ready for the jokes? Are you ready for the opinions? Are you ready for the problems? He's thinking about, how is the family going to respond to this? What are birthdays going to be like? And holidays going to be like? And you having to get multiple gifts, like it's going to be a lot. So he says, Danny, how excited are you for this? And the girl is struggling to show excitement because she doesn't want it. She just wants help while he's gone, is what she says. Get a nanny. I just want to tell a couple of these ladies that are up here, like Angelica and Danny and Billie Jean, your answer is to get a nanny. You want a nanny so you can get a nanny, and you can get a nanny, and you can get a nanny. So the kids' conversation comes up. Joel thinks that it needs to be an equal situation where it wouldn't be right to tell that lady she can't have any kids. It should be equal across the board. And even though he told his wife he has her back, Yesel tells us he feels the same way. He doesn't think it's fair that the other lady can't have a kid either. So Joel tells us he's nervous for them, that they've been through too much, that they're risking messing up their relationship. And he tells them this is dangerous. And I agree, it's dangerous. You guys, that is all I have for this episode. Let me know what you thought about it. If there's something that I missed that you want to talk about, feel free to put it down in the comment section below. This is how I know if you've made it all the way to the end. You guys tell me, out of all the couples, because at this point in episode 3, we've been introduced to all of the couples. Well, we got introduced to all of them in episode 2. From what you guys can see so far, who do you think, if any of them, are actually going to make it to Polygamyville? Put it down below. For me, I don't think it's going to be easy, but out of the ones that we spoke of today, I definitely feel like Lorena and Garrick and Danielle are going to make it, but I think she's going to struggle more. And I don't know about the Davises. I don't see it for Billie Jean and Reese, because Reese is just too much. I don't see it for Matthew, Angelica, and Shanae, because Shanae looks like she got one foot out already. Yesel, and it's a definite no. And I'm not sure about the situation with Teresa because I think Teresa's gonna try to take over. She's gonna try too hard to get his attention because she keeps on talking about feeling left out and things of that nature. And even her wanting to just take on his last name. You've been with them for a couple of months, girl. Like, slow down. Anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so much. Like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so already, because I'm not going anywhere. We're gonna finish this season out. Anyways, until next time, peace.